Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world. I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
It took him a second.
Always does.
Before we get to this great full-length episode of Memories and Legends, check out some of our great friends you can help support the cause to keep more Memories and Legends coming your way.
Irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
We're friends, Andre, please.
Maybe you'll believe this, Hogan.
You will never, ever see it again.
Austin face to face with McMahon.
Nobody tells Stone Cold Steve Austin what to do or when to do it.
And that's the bottom line.
Neither of these superstars is leaving this match without a few scars.
The story will end with me becoming the Universal Champion.
I don't think I've ever seen two more evenly matched competitors in my life.
WWE's Greatest Rivalries, available online or wherever books are sold.
Wrestling fans, check out the brand new lapel pin from our friends at Crimson Mask. Inspired by Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon, it's Bang 316. Only $8 each or 2 for $12. If you think it makes a great holiday gift, give me a hell yeah. Get yours today at crimsonmask.bigcartel.com.
Edmonton, on Friday, March 15th, WWE returns live as Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin collide in a no disqualification match, plus many more. It's the WWE Live Road to WrestleMania Tour Friday, March 15th. Tickets and WWE Superstar Experience packages are available.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Marotti, joined by our longtime friend, Mr. Dave Carter. A pleasure to have you back here in studio.
Awesome. I'm ready to be here.
We have content coming here, there, and everywhere. It seems like every day we have something new. And this week we got a lot to catch up on as the road to WrestleMania continues just to inch a little bit closer, day in and day out for us, just a short 4-hour or so trip down the road.
I love that kind of stuff.
We do.
Yeah. It's great.
Not as much as 2020, though.
No.
But we'll go there.
We'll go there. We'll get there.
But for now, we have some big television tapings.
Oh,
to run
WWE
down.
Raw in Philadelphia. It was a good one.
Wells Fargo Center.
It was a good one.
Where we enjoyed the Battleground 2017
Punjabi prison. You love that.
I like the sandwich.
That was his
I like
favorite.
the steak and cheese sandwich before the
we
show
did
more.
Geno's,
But,
yeah, that was good.
you know, I think that show is always going to be looked down upon for the main event. But I enjoyed very much the tag team title match between the Usos and the New Day.
Yeah.
And I also believe AJ and Kevin Owens was pretty good.
Yeah,
from what I recall off the top of my head.
Absolutely. We had a good time.
The atmosphere was great no matter what the content
was.
We'll go
exactly. Well, we kicked off Raw with Roman coming down to the ring saying, you know, what his goal is to be the champion again and everything. And then he called Seth out. Seth said he deserved the championship, but he's got to have his fight. And then basically told him that, you know, beat Brock Lesnar. Good luck, you know. Roman told him. Then he started talking about, you know, after going through all this, you only live once, tomorrow's never promise, all that stuff, and we got to get the band back together one more time for the Shield. And they started talking. Seth was kind of debating it and finally said he was in. And then Dean came to the ring, and Elias attacked him with the with the guitar. And then I'll let you go from there. What did you?
It wasn't a bad segment. It just felt like it was almost cut and paste from the week before as far as the placement. And a lot of the content was similar. Of course, you had them trying to put the puzzle pieces together to have the Shield reunion. But it was fine. It wasn't bad. But the nitpicker in me would say, why haven't the exact same spot featuring the same people the second week? This was a little bit more enhanced. But, all right, not a bad open.
I kind of like how they didn't tell you if Dean was going to join her right then, too.
It's a big mystery.
Well, you know what I mean. At least they kept
Big
something going.
mystery.
It was because it was just something kept on
kept
going
hitting
through.
that
A thread.
15-second back button on the remote control on the DVR.
Yeah,
I loved
absolutely. Okay. Anyways, the first match tonight we had Braun, Kurt, and Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin. I mean, it was a good match. The crowd was hot for it, but like you always say, the live crowd is going to be. But they seemed like it was like even better than they were usually for. Like I almost had like it being like it could have been not a main event on pay-per-view, but it could have been a pay-per-view match because the crowd was really into it, and it came off across TV that way. So it was better to watch. When the crowd's not really excited for it or anything, it comes off bad on TV. When you're watching it. But it was they were really into it. So I noticed that. Great suplexes by Kurt Angle. He actually had some good suplexes.
Phenomenal.
They were. I know you like to crap on his work right now because he's old. Bobby Drew and Baron Corbin won the match. We had Lio Rush had that big, huge bump off the top. Did you see that? That was pretty crazy. Yeah. And they attacked Finn after the match, slammed Finn through on the stairs. I don't know. I guess that's some heat there. I don't know. What are they going to do with that, though? Because later on in the night, that didn't even matter because now they're having the Shield versus Drew, Bobby, and Corbin.
Right. The match itself wasn't bad.
And why not? Because the match is this Sunday.
The reaction was good. Again, you're talking about one of the Northeast cities, and you had 3 top-tier babyfaces,
right,
including one Hall of Famer / legend. Did Braun Strowman get an introduction? I don't even remember that.
What, if he came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out.
He got an introduction. Yeah. So it was Kurt Angle was the only one that didn't. You have a guy that only has, hopefully, a handful of matches left.
Hopefully, yeah.
And you don't even give the guy a ring entrance and let his song play. It just shows how mind-numbing it is sometimes to try and sit through these 3-hour shows. I mean, to not even promote that the match was going to take place. Just kind of, we'll just throw it out there as if it was nothing. That's the problem why so many of these guys aren't over. You have Kurt Angle, a Hall of Famer, again, that's much closer to the end than the beginning. His appearances should be treated special, never mind his wrestling matches. And it was treated as an afterthought.
Right.
The faction itself, there is, to me, no chemistry between Lashley, Corbin, McIntyre, and is Elias officially a part of it? Or it's
I don't know, because he's not in that match, so it's like hard,
They'll decide next week.
Yeah.
It's just, is there anything appealing out of that grouping? I know they need someone to feed the Shield, but to me, and I think all 3 talents are good individually, but as a group, there's absolutely nothing of any substance. Corbin is going to be looked at as a joke as long as he continues to wrestle in the shirt. McIntyre, I don't know what it is. Over the past 2 or 3 months, whatever sizzle I thought he had as a guy that I could see have a big match in a WrestleMania main event with Roman is gone. And Lashley, I continue to like with little Leo.
And it's funny, if you read ahead and you look at local TV, they've been running, it's going to be Drew versus Seth after WrestleMania.
How often do those matches ever happen?
I'm just saying, if they stick with that, how you just said, they haven't really done anything for him to get thrown right into that, it's going to be interesting.
If Roman didn't get ill and have to forfeit the championship back in the fall, not right now, but back in the fall, if I had that magic pencil, that would have been a match I would have thought about putting together. Drew, Roman defending against McIntyre.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Then we had a backstage segment, Heavy Machinery. Remember, they had hurt feelings because everybody, I don't know. That's, to me, I mean, it's a funny segment, but it's not a good segment for them. They need, I don't know where they come off thinking that's a good idea to bring a tag team, get them introduced and everything. I don't know.
I think the problem you're going to run into is Otis is going to be over, and Tucker is going to get the Aiden English treatment, the Damian Sandown treatment, and we may just see him vanish into thin air at some point. Otis reminds me of Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher from back in the AWA days. I think the fans are going to be amused with him enough that he could be an undercard babyface that'll stick around. Humorous? I don't know. I just think they embarrassed the entire tag team division with what they did throughout the show, including that team and some of the other undercard tag teams that were involved in the skits that went on. But I mean, again, if the guy can get over, fine. Is he someone that fans are ever going to look at seriously? No. The presentation of the partner is he's just kind of there, I guess.
Exactly. No, I understand. From there, we had Natalya versus Ruby Riott. It was a quick match.
Fresh original match.
Yeah. It was a quick match. Natty won with a roll-up. After that happened, Lacey Evans came out, which she just keeps on coming out, just doing her thing. And then from there, we had Triple H comes.
I don't even get to voice my thoughts.
Well, you already did. You said quick. What'd you say? Go ahead, say it again.
I didn't say anything bad,
Yeah, you did.
I?
Yeah.
I said a fresh original match.
Did you mean that seriously?
No.
Exactly. So that's why I'm not even going with it.
It wasn't a bad match at all.
No.
How about that?
Oh.
Natalya is a ring general.
Thank you. I am.
And Ruby Riott isn't all that bad either. I can't think of
double.
anything.
You're getting the double.
I can't think of anything exceptionally bad that either one of that Ruby does. And Natalya is usually very, very good. I would make, when her time comes to an end in the ring, I would make her the agent to deal with the females.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. She's great. From there, we had Triple H come to the ring, basically talked about what happened. He kept on going, Richard. He was messing up the name. You notice that? He was saying Richard Flair, and he was just getting all confused. He should have just stuck with Ric Flair because he was getting all confused with it. And says Batista quit and all that. When the going got tough, Batista left. He didn't like that. They kind of used some real-life stuff to some, not real-life stuff. It was a good promo. Whenever Triple H, any of the old guys are in there, they cut the best promos. They get you the most excited. They get you ready for the match.
Legends. They don't like the term old guys.
All right, you should. Okay.
Legends.
You're right, legends. There you go. And he basically said, you got my attention. And he's going to go wherever. You can come to Stanford. You can go to my house, your house, wherever. I thought it was a good promo. How did you feel about it?
The content and the delivery wasn't bad. It's just the entire premise of the feud. To think that people are going to buy into Batista attacking Ric Flair, for one. To buy into Batista as a heel. And while Batista is much more edgy and vicious and violent as a heel, I flip back to 2014. They presented him as a face when no one wanted to cheer him. Now I think they're presenting him as a heel at a time when no one really wants to boo him. I don't understand why Triple H has to be a babyface. Maybe to get his win back from WrestleMania 21 when they collide at WrestleMania 35 at MetLife Stadium. I'm happy the match is going to happen. Again, just if I was the man with the magic pencil, it would have been an entirely different aspect of how it would be gelled together. I think telling the simple story of, Batista wanted to come back. He was willing to give of himself full time. And that the McMahons and Triple H blew him off, which isn't exactly how it happened, but, much closer to the truth than the nonsense they presented. I don't think Triple H calling Ric Flair by his real name or talking about how he was there when he buried his son, that didn't add any interest to what they were doing to me. I thought that was kind of offensive. I don't know if Ric Flair truly, if he was honest, of course everyone's going to give the PC answer to a question like that, but do you think he really needs the death of his son brought up in wrestling angles? It wasn't as offensive as what they did with Charlotte and Paige.
I was just going to say they did it then.
Survivor Series 2015, which was pretty lowbrow entertainment, but this really wasn't much better.
No.
Again, good program. I like the fact that they're doing it. I would just have done it completely different.
Yeah, I kind of like the little Instagram thing that Dave Batista did with that. And we'll see. Next week they'll face-to-face. See where they go from there. See how the crowd reacts really to Dave Batista. That'll be interesting. Moving on. Out of nowhere, Steph, she says Becky's reinstated for no... blows my mind. That was a perfect... They could have done some there, but instead it's just Becky's reinstated. Charlotte versus Becky at Fastlane for the title. From there, what do you think? Go ahead.
Maybe I'll save my thoughts to the entire package at the end.
Okay. Then we had Heavy Machinery versus the B Team in a gauntlet. It was a gauntlet match, but we started off with Heavy Machinery versus the B Team.
Did guys get introductions for that match either?
Heavy Machinery did.
Everyone else was just
and then the B Team just came out. They kept on rolling out. Yeah. From there, obviously Heavy Machinery won. Then we had the next match was against the Ascension, which I don't know. Obviously
it was just not that good.
Yeah,
it was boring.
The way I look at it,
the way I think I texted it to you or somebody was they just castrated their entire tag team division by not making any of the teams look good.
Right. I get it. I totally get what you're saying. I just understand in a way, like I was telling you, I think at least they're showing something with Heavy Machinery. They're not just putting them on main event or something. They're
And
doing
they
something
are
with it.
an opening lower card act.
Right. But at least they're on the Raw, you know, giving people to know who they are. That's one thing. You know, they're not burying
You
them
could
like, see you later.
accomplish the same thing by feeding them jobbers for a while and not making the entire tag team
I totally
division
get
look
it.
bad.
I get it. Oh, I do. And then from there, we had Heavy Machinery versus Hawkins and Ryder. Heavy Machinery beat them. It probably was probably a 20-minute segment.
Yeah.
At least.
It sure was. I would have loved to have known how many TV channels were searching for something different during
But
the
I
Gauntlet
did
Challenge.
read, since we're in there, they were the #1 thing on cable television this week.
What, wrestling?
Yeah,
Good.
Raw was. And they actually average total was the first hour was like 3 million, 2.9, and then 2.4.
Well, look at what went on in the main event spot.
2.78 for like a total. When I was reading it, I was going to talk about in the headlines, but say it now since you just said that.
That's a big drop from the first hour to the third hour.
Right. Oh yeah. It's just, but they're still up here to what they were. What do you call it, from last week a little bit. But we know why, because it's WrestleMania. We'll see see if they keep it.
If this isn't the highest rated shows of the year, there's a big problem.
So from there we went. We had another segment. It was Seth and Dean backstage. They have mutual respect for each other, and Seth said Dean is his wrestling soulmate. How did you feel about that?
Shrugged my shoulders.
You didn't-
I don't know. I'm not that interested in it. The heel turn was so bad. It was done at the wrong time. They had no plans for it. They built nothing out of it.
Right.
It didn't generate any interest. All it did was make Ambrose look bad. They had him losing to everybody for a while, and now they figure, well, we'll just slap the Shield back together again. It's just lazy. I mean, I don't know how much thought could be put into that.
Oh yeah,
I like when there's depth behind these storylines and feuds and vendettas. It's a lot more watchable and a lot more enjoyable for people, and I think more people will go out of their way to tune in, and I think more people will go out of their way to buy tickets.
Absolutely. I can't disagree with that. From there, we had Elias in the ring doing a little
click,
click. Thing. Then Dean.
Yeah, he dring. Yeah, he did the old honky Tom man and dring, and then oh yeah, we walk with Elias. Yeah, click. The match started.
And then we had Elias versus Dean Ambrose. You know, in the match,
2 guys in jeans, which I hate, but
right. But you know what was kind of cool with the match is Elias did old school, which was kind of cool.
You know what? I'll give credit where credit is due, and you know I'm usually bored by his presentation, but that's a tremendous athletic feat for him to be able to do that. He's not a small guy.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that he actually did it. You don't really see wrestlers do that, and he did it good.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good match. Elias beat Dean clean. What do you think?
There's 2 words I can use to sum up that match.
All right, go ahead.
I think you're very familiar with them. It's similar to that of our good friends in the great state of North Carolina. Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. It was just there, and that's the problem.
Hey, what are you going to do, man? I mean, it's something.
Not every show is going to be a 10.
Right, no.
Not every show is going to be an 8.
I know you're going to get there.
Not every show is going to be a 5.
We had Reigns and Rollins come out while Dean was still in the, down in the ring.
Big tease, yeah.
All 3 get in the ring. Dean gets out of the ring, starts walking up the stairs. They start talking to him, you know. And then all of a sudden, what was it? Seth and Roman get attacked. No. Yeah, they got attacked. Dean runs back in the ring, comes out, helps them all out. You know, they end up beating up everybody. And then you got a little worried. You gonna do it? They got Roman and Seth put their fist in.
I tell you this, did that crowd in Philadelphia not go ape shit for that or what?
Yeah, they
loved it. What a
reaction
reaction they got for that.
Now and
it was
then
good. If the fans like it,
all 3 are back together again, and the crowd loved it.
They're
but it's
selling those shirts like mad already.
And it's going to be the last time ever. But if everybody knows what, never say never in the World Wrestling Federation. What did you think of the segment?
It feels like 3 weeks of TV they shot through in 2.5 hours. But for what it is in this day and age, it wasn't bad. I like the Shield together.
Me too.
That match with the 3 of them against the faction out of nowhere, I'll watch it at Fastlane. It's not something I'll wish to avoid. I think Roman had great chemistry with Lashley.
Yeah, totally.
I think Rollins had great chemistry with Lashley. Ambrose, I don't know. The style he works is just kind of odd to me.
Different, yeah. It is. You're right. Yeah, I was happy about it. I mean, it's good to see them back, you know what I mean, together.
I'm sure you got the shirt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You have the Shield
No,
shirt,
you know whose shirt I really like is I like Seth Rollins' new shirt.
The
Beast
Slayer?
Yeah, it's kind of cool with the swords. I thought that was pretty cool. It's like Brock's tattoo with the thing. I thought that was really
They
cool.
made a lot of money when they did the Kingslayer one with them leading into
Yeah.
WrestleMania 33 in Orlando.
I got that one. You better believe it. Next, we moved on to probably the match of the night, Sasha Banks versus Tamina. Oh. I'm sorry. Quick match. Nia throws Bayley like a, my God, threw her. Sasha went off the top rope, which was pretty cool. She it was a nice top rope off the, out to the outside of the ring. It was a good move. I mean, hey, it was something that was there.
She works very hard.
Right. And Tamina ended up pinning Sasha, though. So, I mean, it was a decent match. I mean, it wasn't nothing right
needed
about
the
it.
pin to go into the pay-per-view women's tag team title
Who did
match
you
on
call her?
Sunday. Haku.
I thought she was John Studd.
Studd, Bundy, Haku, Barbarian.
Oh, okay.
It's different week to week.
Oh,
But she's
all right.
always got the Sons of Anarchy gear on.
You gotta be kidding me.
I still don't understand these women's tag team titles. They don't have enough women. It makes no sense to have only one championship in the entire company that must have 20 championship belts to have just one belt defended throughout the entire company. And it certainly, if I was the one with the magic pencil, it would not be the women's tag team titles.
So
it's something that.
So you think there should be just one women's title for both brands, like just one?
I'd have one
women's
men's champion and one women's champion that wrestle on both Raw and SmackDown. That was one thing I thought they did well in 2002.
The men's definitely. The women's, I'm 50-50 on. Like I don't care either way, but I understand your point of view and I understand their point of view because I mean it is two different brands and it's going to be once they do go on two different channels, it's really going to be.
Yeah, but SmackDown was on a different channel when they did that before.
Well, I mean, we don't have to get into that. I was just wondering how they're gonna do that. Like, is Fox really gonna want it to be different from? Like, you're not gonna see.
Yeah, they want to have their own property. They don't want to have they're paying that much money. They don't
it's really going to be a lot different. Well, we're in October. We're ready for something else.
Oh, we're ready, baby.
Yeah,
I'm ready
we
now.
Are. And we had the Raw Tag Team Title match. It was the Revival versus Ricochet and Black.
That wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah. Obviously, there was no finish because Rude and Gable interfered. It was a good match for what it was. Now we're going to get Rude, Gable versus the Revival versus Ricochet and Black for the tag team titles.
And I think that has the potential to be a pretty good match.
Yeah,
I think that was probably the best use of Bobby Roode since he left NXT.
What do you think about NXT, those two guys, Black and Ricochet, coming up and being a tag team instead of singles?
How do I knock two great talents like that? To me, it's just there was little thought put into it.
And that's the thing.
Why would you put a character like Aleister Black, a modern-day Undertaker, with a high flyer like Ricochet, just because they're in the same brand together in NXT? That doesn't take anything away from what they've done, which has been very good work thus far, but it's just why?
Oh, I get it. Yeah, I mean, I understand, but I also am happy they put them together because look what happened with the other people that got brought up. They're gone. You got EC3 on main event. No one even knows where he is unless you watch that. He lost to Apollo Crews, you know what I mean? So at least they put them together so they're on TV and they're actually in a match on, EC3 hasn't been on pay-per-view and he's been up for...
Those are two guys that should be cultivated towards the upper card when there's a spot for them.
Right.
Not bring them in mid-card tag
you think
team
they should have waited to bring them up?
singles matches and... It's just there was really no place for them, no need for them. They weren't figured into really any WrestleMania-type plans. They didn't do anything with the 6 they brought up in January. I mean, absolutely nothing of any interest with any of those 6. I would have put my attention more towards what they already had, then say, well, you know what? Is there a marquee spot for 4 of the finest wrestlers in the world right now after WrestleMania? Or do we have a spot? Can we come up with 6 months' worth of fresh material for Aleister Black, for Ricochet, for Tommaso and Johnny Gargano?
Yeah.
If you can, okay, that's what developmental is for. They're not meant to be in NXT forever. But if there isn't, why bring them up and castrate them and make them look bad? Before Royal Rumble, I said to you, Ethan Carter III is someone, along with Andrade, I would have looked at to have won the Rumble and fast-track them to a SmackDown title match. Obviously,
speaking of Andrade, he's on the kickoff against Rey Mysterio, which blows my mind.
EC3, I mean, what is he, a mannequin now, standing around the back?
I know that bothered me. And it did bother me, too, because I was so excited when he got signed with WWE. I mean, I told you because I loved him in Impact. He was one of the reasons why I enjoyed Impact, and then he comes here and he still hasn't gotten, I don't know. But from there, we had the ending was the promo with Seth, Becky, and Charlotte. I thought it was done good, but what bothered me with is, you know how they showed Ronda coming in from back there? Then it goes to a commercial. Oh. Back in the day, they would have shown, if that was Stone Cold, just say Stone Cold would come to the ring, and his music would have never played. He would have came through the something. No, they went to a commercial, and then they play the music, she comes out. What is that? I just hate when they get lazy like that.
What are the people at home, the average fan, thinking? Okay, she's running out of the car. What did Becky, Charlotte, and Stephanie do for the next 5 minutes? Just stand in the ring?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Did they have a Coke? I mean, what did they do?
Have some popcorn? I mean, I don't get it. Like, why couldn't they do enough commercials so they didn't have to do that before? Because it just ruined it for me. Because I was excited, you're like, oh, wow, she's here. And then all of a sudden they go to commercial. She comes back and her music plays and she comes out. Why?
That's an issue with the formatting to me.
Why?
Mean, could you imagine that in a...
Imagine if Stone Cold if that happened when Stone Cold... No, you would never do that if it was Stone Cold anybody.
Why was the camera back there to begin with?
Right. Well, I guess you could say because there's always a camera, or you know what I mean, whatever. But regardless, they shouldn't have went to the commercial break, and their music shouldn't have played. She should have literally just came out bombing through, and then it did what she did. But instead, she said she didn't give up the title. She did it so she could get Becky reinstated, all that stuff. And then they end up making a match. It's going to be Becky versus Charlotte at Fastlane. If Becky beats Charlotte... it's going to be a triple threat main event. What I want to ask you is if it becomes triple threat, is that the main event that goes on WrestleMania? Last match on WrestleMania?
I think that's what they'd like it to be. The way the feud has been formatted, I think it's going to die. I think it's going to die. They're over, like a lot of the feuds they put together, they're overbooking it, they're overdoing it. This was a simple story to tell if you wanted to get to the three-way. You have the Royal Rumble. Becky comes out. She wasn't in the match, and she wins.
Right.
You have Charlotte turn heel by bitching and bitching and bitching and bitching and bitching. I was the last woman eliminated. Becky was never in the match. I was the last person to eliminate the 28th person, whoever that might have been. I don't recall off the top of my head. And then, Becky wasn't put into the match by a McMahon. She was put in by Finlay, a road agent. That should have been mine. Then you have a reason to perhaps put a match together between Becky and Charlotte.
Right.
Instead, what you have is just more overbooked nonsense. I mean, Becky running through the crowd every week. Okay, once, fine. How many times has that happened now? How many surprise appearances have there been by Becky Lynch since the day after the Royal Rumble on Raw? It's not a surprise. It's expected. Yep. And now it's the same thing with Charlotte Flair. I don't think we spoke about the Ronda Rousey turn. The Philadelphia fans seem to enjoy it, but that's, again, an Northeast town that would probably enjoy booing her.
Right.
I don't know. I think Becky Lynch looked weak at the end of the show. I think she was on the mat a little too long. We talked about the format of the show with that Ronda going through the commercial break. They ended it too quick.
Yeah.
They had too much time at the end of the show, and they just had Becky Lynch laying there looking bad. It was like
10:56, and I'm like, what are they going to do now for 4 minutes?
And then Ronda's the heel, holding the belt up, pointing to the sign again.
And the thing is that you have them two back on SmackDown. Where's Ronda? She's like, she forgets? Like, I don't understand doing it. Like you said, it should be either one brand or the other because now you have them two on SmackDown. Why isn't Ronda coming out? Because she's talking smack about Ronda. Why isn't she there then for that? Like, And
another problem they're going to run into leading into WrestleMania is that, unlike most of the feuds that are overbooked going into WrestleMania, this one has the potential to play out not over 4 TV tapings between Fastlane and WrestleMania, but 8, because I'm sure you're going to see a lot of those women on both shows.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the fans their interest in it is not going to be what it was in January.
And it's so sad
January,
right.
You could have at least respected the fact it was going to go on.
And it's so sad because Becky was so hot, and if they kill this like that in 8, like you're right, 8 television, she's going to probably be back and forth. So, because she's most likely going to win Sunday. It's going to be a triple threat. Yeah. You know what I mean? Unless they have some other triple threat, and then like you said, 8 tapings.
Unless they overbook it.
Right.
And every time they add another layer to it that lacks common sense, it's going to take interest away from it.
Now this is where I'm trying to think. when we went back to, remember one of the headlines with Conor McGregor, do you think he has something to, you know what I mean, because of Becky being in the main event? Because they want that star pupper.
If it was a singles match, maybe
I'm
they
talking
could
about if it's
develop.
off the main event. If it's the main event, do you think that would be somewhere to bring in to make the main event that much more special?
Unless they were going to make him a referee, I wouldn't. I think it would take away from him.
Take away, okay. I was just curious because remember we talked about that.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think now if she gets involved because it was always supposed to be him with her or something like that.
I think he'd take away from the spotlight trying to be on whoever leaves New York as the champion, whether it be Becky or Charlotte, or if they pull a swerve and have Ronda leave.
I would, I'm kind of interested just to see him in it, just to see if he can not swear, because his mouth is always off the cuff.
If they could come up with a good reason for him to be there, I think he would add a lot of interest to it for a short stint.
Especially because they love him in New York. You know, I mean, after the stuff he caused in New York, too, they love him there.
They could have him go up to fan access and throw a chair through the bus window or
throw him
something
at people,
like that.
start smashing. Rock it, right?
That's my kind of wrestling.
Absolutely.
That's right. Conor McGregor is the best worker in the business right now, and he's not even in pro wrestling.
That's right. But that's it for Raw.
That was it.
That was it.
All right, wrestling fans, you're hearing the music in the background. I want you to get ready. Here in New England, not one, not two, 3 big nights of WWE action coming your way. You know, on March the 25th, Raw is going to be in Boston. Tuesday, March the 26th, back at Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. The buffet is calling my name, but I want you to check this out. WWE Live at the Mullen Center, Amherst, Massachusetts, Sunday, February the 24th. Stand by.
Amherst. On Sunday, March 24th, WWE Live returns on the road to WrestleMania with a massive main event as Braun Strowman collides with Baron Corbin in an epic battle. Plus, anything goes when Finn Balor takes on Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre in a brutal triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. And don't miss your favorite superstars. It's WWE Live on the road to WrestleMania in Amherst, Sunday, March 24th. Tickets are available.
Champion, the Brahma Bull, the Great One, and this,
Finally, The Rock has come back!
is his story. Journey alongside the millions in this definitive guide to
The most electrifying man in sports and entertainment!
See The Rock. Like you've never seen him before.
But The Rock is cooking!
The World of The Rock. Available now. They're ready. Ready to take their rightful place amongst the literary greats.
Who,
Who, you ask?
The New Day!
That's who. It's the Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. It's the feel-good story of the rise of the New Day. Loaded with games, trivia, coloring pages, and so much more.
All right, wrestling
The
fans,
Book
welcome
of
back
Booty.
again. Some big
Shake it,
WWE
love it,
action
never
headed
be it. Available now, online, or wherever books are sold.
Bye. Wrestling fans, welcome back. A lot to be excited about. Just a couple of weeks before WrestleMania right here in the Boston area. Hopefully we'll be there.
Oh, we're going to be at
I'm
them all.
looking forward to all of them.
Well, the Connecticut one is going to be
That's
tough.
a maybe.
But the
That
two,
could be a flip of the
other
coin.
two are definitely going to be there.
All right, well, you heard it from him himself. I love the non-televised event. I'm looking forward to perhaps Amherst the most.
Absolutely. And now we're going to talk about SmackDown this past Tuesday.
From the other Mohegan Sun.
Yes.
In Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
There you go.
There we go. We kicked it off with the Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan promo. What did you think about Eric Rowan saying, shut up to the crowd? I was like, are you kidding me right now? I don't know. But you know what I do like is that they don't like Daniel Bryan right now. This heel turn's working because I think with KO, I don't know who thought of this, but with KO being the man now, that made...
No, he's not the man. That's Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Well,
let me just finish my thought, please. I don't interrupt you. KO being the man to face him now, they're buying into this heel thing because they were booing him like crazy, and they love KO right now. And you know what? Notice? Really, everyone's, I don't know, forget that he was a face, Daniel Bryan. They're buying into this heel gimmick. I don't know if it's just this one match. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping it will get even more and more. But right now, it's working.
But do you know for a fact that it's not resentment?
Yeah,
it,
but
I don't want to see you heat, or is it genuine heel, I'm going to sell tickets heat? I don't know for sure right now.
I don't know. I was just gonna
based
say,
upon live attendance, he's been doing this now since, well, when did he turn heel? At Survivor Series?
2 months.
Or just right before Survivor Series? So that's
yeah.
going
But
on 3.5 months.
Yeah.
No, there's been really no increase in anything. The ratings are at nothing special. The ticket sales are nothing special. He's lost his merchandise appeal, obviously, or he's a heel now. I think more than anything, the fans are genuinely mad that Kofi's not getting that spot.
Right.
Because the fans right now, to a surprising degree, they're really behind Kofi and Kofi Mania right now. And I think that's good for where they're going to go at WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah, I think so. And they had a good promo back and forth. I mean, they did do good promo work, KO and Daniel Bryan back and forth. Yeah, I mean, having what they did with Kofi kicking him out makes more heat on Daniel Bryan, too, which I liked. I mean, it was kind of smart to do that because, like you said, was he going to be a believable heel? Probably not unless they wrote it right. And that part I thought was right. And then bringing KO involved, too, because the crowd loves KO. I thought that was good, too. From there, we had...
I just think, is there anyone in the world that really said their number one choice would be, geez, I'd really like to see the eco-friendly heel Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
the guy was out of commission for 2 years. It was a great story about his comeback. And other than maybe that feud with The Miz that he had, his entire return has just been so uninteresting to me. But that's just one man's opinion. I know there are some people that like it. I don't like it at all. I think there's so many different routes you could go with him as a babyface and so many matches you could have done at WrestleMania. I'm very happy that the fan support has put Kofi in the position he's going to be in. But I don't think anyone a year ago sat down and said, geez, let's sketch out a lineup for WrestleMania. How about we do Daniel Bryan and one-third of the Pancake Tag Team? You know what I mean? But I'm very, very happy.
Absolutely. From there, we had the Usos come out. They did a promo. It was very good, man.
Top-notch.
Awesome promo, right?
Top-notch.
They are great. They're great. They're great at doing their promo. And then we ended up with The Miz versus Jey Uso. Both great workers, so you can't complain about the match. It was good.
Nope.
The Miz won.
Did you see Shane dance when he came out?
Oh, absolutely. I know Stone Cold Shane. I knew I was going to let you talk about Stone Cold because he's your favorite.
Well, they're probably setting the ring up down in Stamford for him to use so he can practice doing the wild thing at Fastlane on Sunday.
What crazy thing is he going to do? Jump off the sign of the WrestleMania sign?
He's had enough of the Van Terminator. I think now
what
it's going to be
the WrestleMania sign?
He's going to do the wild thing off the top of the WrestleMania sign.
That's what Jey Uso said. We'll see. But like I said, The Miz won. I mean, it was a good match. They're both good workers, so I didn't expect anything less other than a good match from them.
No, the Usos, to me, are one of the most underrated presentations WWE has right now. I can't think of the last time the Usos had a bad match. I like their kind of edgier, thuggier personas. It works well for them, and it'll be very nice to see them presented in a feature match at WrestleMania. Granted, last year they were in that throwaway triple threat match that the fans couldn't have cared less about where it was placed. I think it only went 3 or 4 minutes. But this year, if they do go on to indeed face the Hardy Boys, I think that'll be a match fans will really look forward to, and perhaps a show stealer at WrestleMania 35.
You calling it now a show stealer?
It has the potential.
Okay.
Those guys want it, and Jeff, the modern day clean and sober Jeff always goes all out.
Right.
So
well, you heard it here first. From there, we had R-Truth and Carmella come to the ring. I love the duo. I think it's good stuff. You need to have some. You need to have some entertainment on the show, and that's it. And I think they played great. We had the U.S. Open Challenge.
Another recycled
Lacey
idea
Evans
that
comes
no
out
one
again
cares
on this
about.
show. She walks out.
No, another one no one cares about.
But you know, you had your dance break. I think the crowd loves it. Obviously, it's good. It's good entertainment. You need to have some of that. And R-Truth does a great job with Carmella. You need to have that.
You know what? To be fair, he does a very good job with his entertainment value. It's just you can't take him seriously, and he should have never been made a champion.
I think you're not.
Right, but the championships should be serious.
And it is. Once he gets down to brass tacks, he's a good wrestler. He's a good worker. It's not like he jokes around in the ring. He does what he works for.
What was the last good R-Truth match you can think of?
That night was a good match. That was a great match last night.
Because it was a four-way.
But it was a great match, and that, like I even put, it was pay-per-view worthy. That crowd was hotter than ever last night. That was pay-per-view worthy.
It was a good crowd. It wasn't like the one they had a couple of weeks ago.
No, but that was a great crowd for that match, and I even have it. It was R-Truth versus Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio and Andrade.
Because You finish with the match, and then I'll make.
And I thought it was a great match. It was a fantastic. Crowd was pumped. It was great. It could have been pay-per-view worthy. And Samoa Joe won the title. I'm very happy with that. Finally, they're giving it something to Samoa Joe, making him get a push. I thought it was really good.
What happens when you push a guy like R-Truth as a champion, and you have your top-tier talent sell for him and even put him over in some cases, it doesn't elevate him. It drags everybody else down.
Yeah.
Look at where Andrade and Mysterio are positioned on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but
I don't even think Joe's on it, is he?
No, not yet.
Fastlane?
No.
Okay.
Well, because
their program
he just won the title, so I don't know. But they could end up doing something. You never, I don't know.
Nobody cares.
Okay, here we go. Anyways,
it's the little things that
you got to use him somewhere.
Yeah, he's great on a house show in the second match. After you have an exciting opening match, you bring him out, him and Carmella do the 7-second dance thing, the fans get a chance to cheer, and you have him go over an undercard guy. That's R-Truth's value.
He was a step-over champion. He had the title for a little bit, and now he gives it to Joe.
He didn't need a championship. He should have never been given a title.
Why not?
At this stage. Because he's not that good. They haven't invested any time in him in years.
But
so having him beat Nakamura made Nakamura look bad. And having, like I mentioned, the other three, it made them look bad, make him look good.
It was to put Nakamura and Rusev together. Then you
they've done worlds with that.
Hey, I'm just saying that's why they did that. And then you have R-Truth, and they're probably trying to put something together because the crowd likes him. When they come out, the crowd is genuinely happy to see them. R-Truth and Carmella.
They are, but they're not presented as someone that they know they should invest much time and interest in. They're a fun routine from the more serious stuff.
Right.
And as much as I don't like comedy, you absolutely have to have that on a wrestling show. But again, to have your top-tier talent selling for them and making them look good, it doesn't make R-Truth look better. It devalues the title, and it devalues those main top-tier players.
We can get into a little bit. I also think it was part of with him saying, John Cena, this is my idol, all that, because we know we're going to get John Cena versus Samoa Joe at WrestleMania. So it's going to build into that, too. There's a whole line of story. You're getting John Cena versus Samoa Joe for the U.S. title at WrestleMania.
Remember we had this conversation, and let's see if we can backtrack it if the match actually happens.
Okay.
If they've given it that much thought, I'd be very impressed.
Okay. And anyways, from there we had Samoa Joe backstage, which he cut a fantastic promo. I love that Joe.
When he's on.
That was awesome. Fantastic. Looked in the oh man, that got me excited. That part of the that promo, just because it was like a old school promo. He was in your face, got loud, looked at the it was good. It was very good done. What do you think?
Yeah, like I just said, when Joe's on, he's on. There are times when he's presented in a way where it's just kind of there, but he was on this way.
Absolutely. From there, we had the Bar versus Black and Ricochet. Aleister Black and Ricochet.
That was good.
Great match. Aleister Black and Ricochet win. Then Nakamura.
Didn't make a lot of sense to have them out there where they were involved in the Raw feud on the pay-per-view. But when you have no thought as far as to put 10 people you call up from NXT, you just have them wrestle on both rosters and have nobody care.
All right, Nakamura and Rusev attack both of them, and that's when the Hardy Boys came out and helped Aleister Black and Ricochet. I know what you just said. I'm just saying that was what it led to.
That's fine, but what's that building towards?
We don't know yet. Maybe something next week on Tuesday after Fastlane. We'll see.
You should be building for your pay-per-view on Sunday.
Right, exactly. I get it. But if they're not on the card, I'm guessing they're trying to do stories for after Fastlane.
Then that's what you start the Tuesday after the pay-per-view.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying probably what they're doing.
Well, I'm just sharing my analysis with how it was presented
Absolutely.
to me.
I get it.
I like Rusev as a heel, but where Rusev Day was so over, they could have at least waited for that to die down.
Yeah, they ruined that.
I know you thought there were going to be big plans for old Aiden English, but
hey, it was
when was the last time he was on SmackDown?
205 Live.
SmackDown.
No, he's not. He's a commentator now.
Okay, so
but
that didn't exactly go well.
You know what it looks like Rusev Day is the same thing with like Ryback. It was over. Crowd loved it. But then they killed it. They squashed it. They did something. You know what I mean? It's the same exact thing. Ryback was so hot with Feed Me More. And all of a sudden, they just killed it. The crowd was so over with Rusev Day. And then they killed it. I don't understand that part. Why did they do that? I don't know.
Again, long term, I think he's better off as a heel. But where that clicked, ride it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I would love to know how he did with the T-shirts when they were selling them. Because they were everywhere. He probably made some money on that.
And then you have Nakamura, who's just there.
He's going to be gone.
Whatever
he's gonna be
he
gone.
had in NXT is just not translating, and I think he's even worse as a heel than he was as a babyface.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be gone when it's gone. I hate it because I love the guy, but I don't see him staying. And then we had your favorite probably match of the night. We had Mandy Rose versus Naomi.
You know what I thought was funny about that? They didn't even announce, and these are two people that have been in a feud, that that's who she was wrestling before they went to a commercial break.
Oh.
Were they afraid people were going to change the channels?
I don't know.
They said, Mandy Rose in action up next. Why wouldn't you say, oh, you know, she has this rivalry with Naomi? No.
And it was a quick match. Mandy won.
That's for sure.
Asuka showed up behind Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, ended up beating up both of them, then looked at Naomi, and then they went to another commercial.
At least it wasn't the Iconics, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. They weren't even on SmackDown this week.
That was a big loss.
I know. And then from there we had
Get ready for next year's Elimination Chamber so they can do their little comedy routine.
Absolutely. Then we had Eric Rowan versus KO, which was a pretty good match. I mean, you know, we had the return, but for the highlight of the match was the return of Mustafa Ali, which was kind of cool, you know. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you one thing.
Well,
if
let me finish so I can ask you this.
Sure.
And we didn't talk about it last week. I guess I skipped over because I had it written, but we skipped over it. What do you think about KO doing the stunner?
It's looked good the two times he's done
But what do you think about it? Do you think that's leading to anything?
No.
No?
No.
You don't think?
If that man is going to come back to wrestling, I think it's going to be something a little bit higher up the food chain than Kevin Owens.
Well, he's pretty high up the food chain.
No, he's not.
Of course he is.
Okay.
I mean, they let
Was
him
he
beat
in the
John
title
Cena.
match
When you
at
beat John
WrestleMania?
Cena, that's what
That
you call
was 3 years, 4 years
But still,
ago.
that's high up on the food chain. And he just came back. So for him to go from DB, maybe he's getting there. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying for him to start doing the stunner out of nowhere like that.
No one's used it as a finisher as a wrestler in, what now, 16 years.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just throwing it
I
out
could
there.
see the move being passed. Maybe it's just a passing fade to see if it resonates.
Hey, I just
and gets
remember
him
when
over.
on Stone Cold's podcast, before KO was KO, it was still Kevin Steen. He had him on his podcast, and he said he would love to work him sometime. That was way
He
back
said that
in
to a lot of people.
Right. But I'm just saying, so maybe he didn't. You know what? Stone Cold doesn't do his podcast anymore, first of all. Second of all.
Really?
Yeah, he hasn't done it in
I didn't know that.
Since
How
the
come?
beginning of he just stopped. It's not that he's taking time off because he's been doing other things and he's been clanging
movies
it.
or?
No, just doing stuff that he loves, working on cars and training like a mother. Have you seen what he looks like lately?
I don't know how recent the picture was,
my
but he's
God.
never really looked bad.
He's in unbelievable shape. Like I'm talking about, he could wrestle. Like the figure he has on him looks unbelievable.
I would write him the check and let him pick the number.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know how much more I could put that guy over. He's the biggest attraction in professional wrestling history.
Right.
Meant more than any person you can name.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see what happens. You're gonna hear. Like I just threw that out there a little bit. Is this gonna lead something? You don't think so?
Kevin Owens wouldn't be in my top 10 of guys to put with
I know
Austin.
you wouldn't, but at the same time, it's not what you think. It's what Stone Cold wants. And maybe they
if
want.
I'm Steve Austin and looking to make money
you know
based
what?
upon what I can
But it's
draw,
but
Kevin Owens wouldn't be in my top 10.
Well, who would you put him against?
Lesnar would be number 1.
He's not gonna work Lesnar. You out of your
Why?
mind? Because it's a stupid match.
That's a stupid match.
Yes.
What is stupid about Austin and Lesnar compared to
You're gonna give him
Austin
a WWE
and
championship
Kevin
match
Owens?
at WrestleMania?
I didn't say it had to be at
Well, that's who
WrestleMania
what
this year.
Oh, well, I'm talking about
I'm
at
talking
WrestleMania.
about it. I'm talking about in general who Austin could work.
I'm talking about right now for WrestleMania.
If Austin was to come back,
Yeah.
Roman.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I want to see him when Stone Cold comes back. Like he even has said, he wants to build someone. That's the whole point of him wrestling one more match is to build someone. And I could see him doing that with a Kevin Owens, building him.
Please, he could do it with a Roman.
Roman's already built.
He could bring out a new dynamic in Roman, I should say, not to be confused with.
We
Eric
thought John
Rowan.
Cena could do that too.
Huh?
We thought John Cena was going to do that too.
No, I mean, I think if Austin was the Stone Cold of old, before they kind of took that comedic turn
And
with
think
him
about
that went
the
nowhere.
promos that would go back and forth with KO and Stone Cold. Sorry, I'm just thinking because KO cuts a hell of a promo, Stone Cold cuts a hell of a promo. You got Roman's promo, and Stone Cold would do great. I don't know.
I think
it's just fun to talk about.
It was a
it's just fantasy
97,
booking 101.
97, 98 type Austin with Roman Reigns. Oh, I think
I'm not saying it
that
would be a
would
bad match. I'm just saying what he has said in the past.
I'm talking about just the build-up to it.
Right. I'm just saying what he has said in the past is if he was come back, it would to be build someone up. It wouldn't be to have this crazy match. It would be to build someone up. You know what I mean? And KO could be the guy, but I don't know. It's fantasy booking 101. I like to do it sometimes. Anyways, we ended SmackDown with the Charlotte Becky promo.
And I tell you again, I don't know what television ratings are, but you're running the risk
of
turning the fans off early because just like Raw's rating tanked in the last hour, knowing that was going to be the main feature.
It was a brawl, remember? And then Becky gets shot.
Same thing all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Slightly different maneuvers, slightly different approach, but the same scenario. When you do it every week, it makes it very missable.
Right.
And again, it takes away the interest of it. Those people should have very little contact with each other leading into Mania, and all they have is contact with each other. I tell you one thing I thought last year the WWE did right going into WrestleMania was the lack of every main event person being on TV every week. Roman and Lesnar really didn't have a lot of physical interactions. Once they realized they were going overboard with Ronda, they pulled her appearances back to a somewhat limited degree.
Yep.
That's the way to build up the interest in it, is not let them be so visible in your face on TV every week, having angles and interactions that largely water down the feuds and vendettas, because the people, once they see the first interaction, unless it's building to a bigger twist in the feud, they've seen it. Mm-hmm. So I'm big on all original matches, original vendettas and feuds should have something to do with the pay-per-view. The free TV, use that to build it up.
Yeah.
If you want to have 9,000 rematches, do it with them. I don't like putting feature matches with main event players on free TV, then do the rematch on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's just
like
me.
they did way back in the day with Nakamura and Cena and Nakamura and AJ.
Nakamura and everybody.
I'm just saying, they did it all free and when they could have done. Yeah, totally agree. But that was SmackDown. The music playing.
All right, wrestling fans, we're going to take a brief timeout. We come back, wrap up the show.
Debut. On Saturday, March 16th, WWE Live returns on the road to WrestleMania as AJ Styles and Randy Orton clash for the first time ever in debut, one-on-one. Plus, Charlotte Flair and Asuka collide for the SmackDown Women's Championship. See Kevin Owens, The New Day, and many more. It's the WWE Live Road to WrestleMania tour on Saturday, March 16th. Tickets are available.
See the moments.
Generation X invades WCW.
You'll always remember. Like never before.
Occupy Raw has taken over.
With Raw, the first 25 years, packed with rare photos, profiles of your favorite superstars, and so much more. From the very first Raw to the 25th anniversary, it's the ultimate guide to WWE's flagship show. Raw, the first 25 years. Available now.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. That was Raw and SmackDown this week, a very interesting time of the year. Usually there's more fans tuning in than at any other point. Mm-hmm. So it hopefully will continue in a more upward trend. I'm interested to see what happens at Fastlane.
Absolutely.
More of a SmackDown-themed pay-per-view.
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of Raw matches, but yeah, definitely. It's going to be a good one. Usually at Fastlane, usually that pay-per-view is usually a throwaway pay-per-view, but there's some good matches, interesting things. We'll see what happens with the title, with the titles that are on the line. I don't know.
All right,
what would you grade? Well, you didn't give me a grade. What do you grade SmackDown and Raw? Raw first.
A reluctant 7, because what they presented wasn't that bad. It was the formatting and the structure behind it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
As far as SmackDown goes, I wasn't big on it this week. 6. Wasn't bad, but there was nothing really good or memorable about it.
I was going to say that, it's funny.
Again, there was some good technical wrestling.
I hate when I agree with you, but those are
on
two
both?
numbers.
7 and a 6?
7 and a 6. Oh, my God. That's not right.
You're coming around.
Oh,
I told you, you're coming around. I'm reeling you in. You're going to start thinking my way soon.
No way.
Wrestling fans, we want you to think our way. Memories and Legends with the Hall of Famer Tony Atlas. He's going to be back right here in studio Friday night, March the 29th. Free admission if you want to come down and see the Hall of Famer shoot. I don't know if you've seen the video put up this week where Tony unleashed on B. Brian Blair. Maybe not as intense as the Iron Sheik did, but Tony Atlas is pissed. If you haven't seen it, check out this week's Wrestling Insiders. Tony was so angry about a recent Brian Blair interview, I literally had to change the entire schedule for the month because the episode that Tony was going to do on Brian Blair wasn't set to run until March 25th before Raw in Boston. It was so topical, it's just going to create a lot of work. But Tony, if you haven't seen it again, is not happy. It's lit up YouTube. Check it out. Again, we'll have a brand new pay-per-view weekend Memories and Legends this weekend. This time, Tony takes us behind the scenes to the 2006 Hall of Fame induction in Chicago, Illinois. That was a very interesting episode we taped a while back, and you fans will get to enjoy it as part of Fastlane Weekend. At that point, fans, all you want to talk about the Fastlane, all roads are going to be headed into Times Square, New York City. We are going to be part of WrestleCon now for the 4th straight year. Tony Atlas was going to be with us at one point, but apparently he's on a mission with MWF President Dr. David Reese. We are going to be announcing what legends will be with us soon in New York as part of the big weekend. Hopefully, we're going to be at TakeOver in the Hall of Fame and WrestleMania, obviously. This one will probably be, I don't know, he may have more wrestling events to attend to than women on Tinder that weekend.
Absolutely. We'll
New
see
York
what
City women.
Hey, you never know.
Maybe I'll get a leftover or something.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see what happens.
All right, and don't forget, fans, I keep going. There's so much going on. It's hard to keep track. The eBay stuff is really cool right now. We'll put a link in the comment section below. We have that beautiful drawing. Tony Atlas drew 18 by 24, one of only one in the world, of the Young Bucks of AEW.
It's actually very beautiful. He did a great job on it. A lot of detail. It's nice.
The attention to detail on the jacket is amazing to me.
Oh, absolutely.
He had to have spent hours on that.
Absolutely.
I know it usually takes him days, but just to get down onto the coat with those little tiny faces.
Oh, yeah.
I was really impressed. Tony is a great artist, if you didn't know that. If maybe you're not a Young Bucks fan, you can also commission Tony to draw a wrestler, a friend, a family member, a pet.
Anything.
So we'll see, just not Brian Blair. All right, for Dave Carter, I'm Dan Marotti. Continue to like, share, and subscribe all of the great things we do for you. Get on the Patreon, get on the eBay, get down here in studio March the 29th for Tony Atlas, and head on over to WrestleCon. You and yours, be well.